changes. For example, when you transform a piece of wood into a heap of ash, then ash could have different properties and a piece of wood would have different properties. So a change in the case of milk transforming into curd and the change which is experienced in the case of wood transforming into ash after being burnt may be understood as chemical changes. Ripening of food shall be chemical change. When you have mango in the early stage, then mango appears green and tastes sour. When mango ripens, it appears yellow and the taste happens to be much more sweeter. A little bit sour and of course much more sweeter than the previous stage of the mango. When you mix sugar in water, then the sugar disappears there and you can't tell that the solid condition of sugar, which for the sake of appearance gets disappeared into the water in a sugar water solution, is not like chemical change, because the taste of sugar even at the dissolved state shall also be sweeter, and even at the undissolved state as a solute shall also be sweeter. Got it? So transformation of water into ice and ice into liquid and liquid water into water vapor, these are physical changes. Now you may ask me a question. How do I say that transformation of liquid water into vapor, which is a gaseous state, can be a non-chemical change? You have one more characteristic of chemical change, and that is when a substance undergoes chemical change, then that change cannot be reversed. But if water is solidified into ice, then that same ice could be brought back again into the liquid form, right? By the process of condensation. And that condensed liquefied water could still be freezed again to solidify, and that solidified water can again be condensed into liquid form and then be transformed into vapor form, and that vapor could also be later condensed to get liquefied water droplets. So we have reversibility here. That's the reason why change of state of water is never taken to be an example of chemical change. Right in the same line, when you wash your hand with soap and water, soap changes into fizz and bubble, right? And foam. This isn't chemical change, this is physical change. Why? Because here the change happens at the molecular level. Separation of molecules from the original entity of a substance is not chemical change. Why do I say this? Because the solid pieces of sugar dissolves into water as a water sugar solution. There the single molecules degenerate themselves and enter into the intermolecular spaces of water, and thereby they form